Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this A Loud Day, a brand new loud day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Loud because I have two box fans running right now. When normally when I record, I try to have no box fans, but it is blistering in here today. Ugh. My apartment faces the sun, and it's a big red, dark red side, so it absorbs heat. And I overheat, so I've got just a t-shirt. I've had my window open, box fans on. It's chilly when I walk outside, and I've had the heat off. And I am just on the very edge of being too hot. Joy. Thumbs up. Hopefully your day is wonderful. Yay on that. Very good thing. Real quick, just had to make a break from Disco Elysium. Not for long, but I have been hyper-fixated on it for a time, if you hadn't noticed. And that usually I don't get quite so deep on something without coming up for air. And I hadn't for quite some time. I needed to have a quick little break, and at the end of the first day, that seemed like a good one. Jumping back into it here very soon, because it is a good game, just hopefully not going to be hyper-fixating on it quite so hard. Yay! Definitely a good thing. I have written some stuff down, not a whole lot up there, because I haven't had a whole lot happen in life. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is a video that I saw this morning. ADHD brain, got to keep looking over at my list there. It was a video that I haven't finished watching yet because, again, ADHD brain, but it's about how thrill-seeking is an actual genetic trait. Being an adrenaline junkie. And they use the term, so good, is a genetic trait. So thumbs up on that. And that the reason I say thumbs up on all that is, of course, it backs up the scientific part of why I say people live in crazy places in my creative setting of the Inside Outside Razor's Edge, why people live in a place like the Razor's Edge, which is an untamable, unending frontier. And it is an untamable, unending frontier because there is so much more there than there is there. There is effectively 1,000,000 square kilometers for every square meter of there. So it's wildly insane. You have to have activated thrill seeker / adrenaline junkie genes to enjoy living there. But if you have activated adrenaline junkie and thrill seeker genes, every day is going to make you feel alive. So thumbs up on that. And I just wanted to mention it because, hey, I'd like to have at least a kernel of something that I can grab onto and build with. That's why with all my multiverse stuff is effectively what a lot of the mathematicians who work with math and multiverse theory, they have posited. Now, I didn't read what they said and then, so okay, this, and this. I actually thought of a bunch of stuff. No math, just on philosophical concepts. And found out that that's what a lot of stuff that they had been working on. So, good thing on that. But point being, what was the point being? Look over here. Trying to attach things with a shred of science to use as a basis for the foundation of things that I work on. Yay! So, it was just the whole thrill seeker, adrenaline junkie thing. It's a good thing. Now, I did want to talk more on the whole cryptid type setting because I am I can't talk about current events. Current events are one of the reasons that I am dealing with so much extra depression and so many extra worries. Having my government be dismantled in front of my eyes. Watching Social Security now start to be gutted, where if I lose Social Security, I will die. I can't work. And if I'm off disability because there's no more disability, then I have no much choice. I don't have much choice. Especially since the dominant party in government, their major plan for people like me appears to be, there's a cemetery down the road. Have you tried dying? And I don't like that plan. So I don't want to even think about current events and all that. I have no power. And so worrying about these things, I can't do a thing about them. Yes, every single thing that I can't affect is going to affect me horrifically. Yay. So, rather than deal with things that I cannot help and that are only continuing to drive the state of my mental health on a negative path, I'm going to try and think about other things, like remembering my cryptid setting. Because yesterday I talked a bit about probably a lot, about the whole cryptid setting and how it all began, and the character that started it all, Jimmy Lane Baker, Jimmy Lane Baker, as a human being, he was only about 5'6". He was a welder. He was more intellectual. He didn't like to go out drinking. He had a computer. He did his computer stuff. He read books. About once a month he'd go out with the boys, and he wouldn't drink too much, but he'd get down with them at a bar, that sort of stuff. So he was just a guy, but then he began to express his cryptid genetics, and he started to stagger off to the hospital because he was feeling really sick. He doesn't remember getting there. All he remembers is when he woke up, but he actually made it there, and he went from, in just a couple days, a 5'6" guy to a 6'5" guy, muscle bound. So freaked out about this, they got one of their rent-a-cop security guards to watch over, make sure nothing crazy was going to happen, and have him call up all the doctors when the guy woke up. I mean, there was all the electronic stuff, but then he finished fully expressing. So nobody really came to check on him. But the security cop was there. And when the guy woke up, Jimmy Lane Baker, he was starving. He had an energy debt to pay off, because you can't just create muscle without energy. So there was a momentary loan from the universe to finish converting. But you gotta pay it back. So he woke up, just smelling the best thing he had ever smelled in his life, and he knew he had to fill his belly with that beautiful smelling thing. Unfortunately, that was the rent-a-cop. And before the rent-a-cop could get away or call for help, Jimmy Lane Baker started eating him. And when he was done, he was covered in gore and horrified at what he had done. So he escaped the hospital, and as a full cryptid now, nobody's able to interact with him. If you have to put it in gamified terms, a cryptid presence of 50 or below, you have no cryptid senses. Nothing. You cannot interact with the cryptid world, but the cryptid world can interact with you. If you have 51 or above, your cryptid senses are awake, your cryptid presence is up. If you are a cryptid, then you're a cryptid. If you are a human being, you're down here. Now, if you are a person that's a human being whose third eye is open, you were supposed to go and become a cryptid. You had a genetic defect, so you didn't make it. You're a cryptid in every single way except your body didn't convert. Now, when a cryptid looks at you, they see weird stuff. It's like in this eye they're seeing a cryptid, but in this eye they're seeing a human being. And for the first day they see you, it looks weird until their brain merges them together, and now they just see you as you. But you're not a cryptid, and you're not a human. But there's Jimmy Lane Baker, who becomes a cryptid, and as he's running from the hospital in horror, because as one of the 13th kind, he doesn't have any cryptid instincts. He's still Jimmy Lane Baker inside of this body, and he ate someone. So he's running away in horror, and he runs past this one guy, David Aleah DiSilva, who follows him and talks to him. Now, David does not know that he's a cryptid. He went and expressed when he was about 12 years old. He lived in Ash Pine Bluffs on the Razor's Edge. Converted there, but there is very little cryptid energy. Enough to keep you alive, but just barely. So he left when he was young to come out here, where there's plenty of cryptid energy, but he doesn't know he's a cryptid. He just knows that he likes it out here. He doesn't know why he can interact with cryptids, but when he travels around the world, he meets up with cryptids everywhere. And so he sees Jimmy run by and goes to find out what's going on, see if he can help. And Jimmy is just, no, get away from me. I've eaten somebody. I might eat you too. Oh, Jimmy knows cryptids. He knows if he's eaten someone, he's full. There ain't no room for David inside that belly. He's going to be okay talking to him. So he does so. Helps him out. Sticks around to give him pointers, and then they in time become friends, and then David is just sticking around with him. Now, his name is David, but it's out here, the equivalent spelling would be Daphiid, and so he just goes by Daph, Daff, which is the equivalent of Dave, but they hang around. Now, Daff being from the Razor's Edge, there's a lot of, depending on what settlement you're from, and how safe it is, and how safe people feel, you may have more casual undressing around people that you know. And since Daff comes to know Jimmy, he ends up with more casual undressingness, and then one day discovers he's a cryptid because he wakes up outside covered in snow, and it's freezing out. And even though the snow isn't melting on his skin, and when he breathes on it, it doesn't melt, but he's alive. He just shakes all the snow off, goes in to talk to Jimmy, and starts coming to terms with the fact that, well, maybe he's been able to see cryptids and deal with them because he's a cryptid too. And as it turns out, he is. He is, in fact, a cryptid. But his cryptid part of him has been sublimated, put down, and is not been dealt with for a good 14 years now. And that part of him has come to appreciate not being the type of cryptid he is. Because his type of cryptid is urban legend, wandering stranger, serial killer. And he's a particularly virulent kind. Most serial killer types that are cryptids, you follow your nature. You only kill periodically, and never many. Maybe 4, 5, 6, and then you wander on to the next place for the next time. Well, the type of killer that Daphiid is, anytime, whenever he wants, that's within his nature, to leave mountains of corpses wherever he goes. At the same time, that cryptid part of him has gotten really comfortable not doing things like that. Daph feels terrible, like he has lost control and just been angry around people who are thinking worse of him if he just expresses the most minor of frustrations. He's mellow. Just mellow. Even cryptids that normally kill without thinking don't around him. Not because of the type of cryptid he is, but just because he's mellow. And the cryptid that he is, it's the functional equivalent of his cryptid wakes up in the morning, wanders out into the living room, and then takes a seat on the very comfortable recliner chair. There's all the favorite snacks to one side, favorite drinks to the other. There is an endless box of perfect movies that he can just pop into the machine at any time and just settle back into the sofa and relax and just enjoy it. The cryptid part of him that would normally want to wade through oceans of blood is like, no, don't. Just don't. You don't want to. Just no. You start, you'll become a slave to blood. I don't want to give all this up. And so, after he discovers that and comes to terms with it, he still sticks around with Jimmy to try and keep him centered, because Jimmy has a major existential crisis that I will talk about tomorrow. Yay! Hopefully people have actually watched. And if you have watched, you are a beautiful and awesome person. And in fact, if you have watched, if you could type suave into the comments to let both me and the YouTube algorithm know that people actually watch these videos. I think maybe 1 or 2 people do that, which shows me, at least 1 or 2 people watched this far. So you're not under any requirements, but if you could, that'd be cool. Call to action time. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that'd be very cool. And if you're a Patreon patron, you are beautiful and awesome. You make my life better, and I appreciate that to no end. When you look in the mirror, you're looking at someone who is both beautiful and awesome, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. For everybody that leaves me a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own way. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up or heart better do it up where it can be seen. Heart every comment that YouTube allows, and I answer as many as my nerve compression will let me do. It's going to be a bad one today too. I can feel a dagger in my back between my scapula and my spine. I got to be careful today, or I am going to be in bad shape tomorrow. Thumbs up. It's wonderful being a organic being, some sort of carbon-based creature, a being with a beginning, a middle, and an end, where that end is death. But then that's the fate of all organic carbon-based life forms. I mean, the dirt underneath our feet is formed from the dead, from millions of years of living creatures before us, all kicking off, rotting, being eaten, and then those that ate that being eaten in turn. Yay for topsoil! I love being organic. Anyway, though, I am going to edit, render, upload. I've used my tablet today because I wanted to have a good change of scenery for the videos. I wish I'd put that light down lower. Life is life. Messed up. Oh well. Hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done, and if not, please do not beat yourself up. It will not help you get them done better next time, and you deserve better. Thumbs up for that. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very, very good thing.